Thousands of years ago, God's people gathered at the foot of Mount Sinai to receive spiritual instruction from Jehovah. Since then, modern-day gatherings, our conventions, have played a significant role in the history of pure worship. This report will highlight some of the aspects of planning for special and international conventions. Any of you who have had the experience of attending a special or international convention know the love and happiness of our brotherhood is on full display for all to see.
We are here today to announce charges in 5 cases which are part of an ongoing investigation against multiple men across Pennsylvania for sexually assaulting children. All 5 men had the trust of the victims and their families. And all 5 men were members of the Jehovah's Witness congregation, and many of them gained access to their victims through this organization.
The love and happiness of our brotherhood is on full display for all to see.
Yes, I actually represented Amelia, the woman that you saw in Jason's piece. She brought the first successful claim against the Jehovah's Witnesses for child sexual abuse in the UK, and that was back in 2015. And although 10 might seem like maybe a small number of cases, that reflects the difficulty that victims have in coming forward, particularly those in the Jehovah's Witness organization, because of the 2-witness rule and various other factors.
So how were you able to find 9 others, or how did they find you?
They do have quite a network of a good support network amongst ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. And in fact, off the back of reporting on the judgment in Amelia's case, the other victim that you heard from, Emily, who was actually abused previously by the same person, got in touch. And so it has really been through media and reporting that people have gotten in touch. I think it's important to point out that those people who have gotten in touch have left the organization. And honestly, mostly there's a lot more victims, I believe, within the organization who have not come forward for a variety of reasons. One of them being that the religion practices shunning. So if you decide to leave the organization, then you will be shunned by everybody that you know, including your immediate family members. So that's obviously additionally a big barrier to victims coming forward, which I don't think was particularly well highlighted by the inquiry's report.
So when you were going through what happened to these victims, were you surprised by what you were hearing?
I would say I was horrified. Particularly, all child sexual abuse is horrific, and you would be horrified by any of it. But I think particularly in the Jehovah's Witness cases, what's so horrifying is that time and time again, I've seen a situation where they are aware of the fact that there is an abuser in their congregation and nothing is done about it. The
love and happiness of our brotherhood is on full display for all to see.
And that means that abuser goes on to assault many, many more victims. And it's really tragic and horrifying to see a situation where you know a child could have been saved. And because they took no steps to safeguard children, there are more and more victims whose lives are changed and ruined forever.
In Ukraine, we saw the unity of our local brothers and sisters, but we never saw it global until we came here to the convention. And we saw our brothers and sisters from Asia, Africa, all around the earth hugging each other and associating. We fought back tears, but our hearts were so deeply touched.
We were sexually assaulted. We were sexually raped.
John Michael Ewing will never forget the day this picture was taken. Ewing says he met his abuser when he was baptized as a Jehovah's Witness. Ewing was 14. Michael Rust was a ministerial servant.
That I was homeschooled. I didn't go to public school. I think that made me much more gullible and much more trusting.
Heather Steele tells Pix 11 her trust was broken by a Jehovah's Witness elder. who sexually assaulted her for years, Donald Nicholson.
I was definitely groomed because it started when I was a baby, and I never literally knew anything else.
Steele and Ewing met for the first time today, decades after their alleged abuse. They plan to file lawsuits Wednesday in Kings County Supreme Court, naming 8 members of the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses. They claim the faith has a long history of protecting child predators. Erwin Zalkin is their attorney.
Because this organization has allowed the sexual abuse of children to fester within its ranks for decades.
While they grew up hundreds of miles apart, with Ewing from Florida and Steele from New York, there were many similarities in their stories. Both say their abusers quoted scripture to justify their actions. And after coming forward to faith leadership, the men they called out were reassigned and allowed to work with other children.
This goes all the way up the chain to the top.
To hear everyone that attended this international convention singing the songs in different languages was amazing.
What touched me the most is the hospitality. When I returned back to Ethiopia, I learned that I need to show hospitality.
I need to open my heart wider to fill it with all this love. It's full and it's overflowing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this convention. Jehovah, his people, are here.
Jehovah's Witnesses did not want to comment on their cases, but told Pix 11 in a statement, Watchtower's stand on the subject of child abuse is very clear. We abhor child abuse in any form.
That's my hope, is that we're able to start cleansing this sickness out, because that's what it is. It's a sickness, and it needs to be cleansed.